Good evening, everybody. Frankie Day here for Frankie Day Models. Okay, guys, this is video number 2 for all at sea group build. My 1898 protected cruiser of Commodore Dewey's Great White Fleet, the USS Brooklyn. Okay, guys, she's on her ways of getting her together. Hull's completely finished, all done. I got the whole waterline's all done. I got the screws on. I got the side skins on, all finished. And I'm gonna start putting the shutter bays on there. I'm gonna start getting those on there. And I'm gonna start working on the casement guns next. So that next be the next video coming. I'll explain what I gotta do, and I'll show you as we review the USS Brooklyn. Okay, guys, she's going together quite nice. This kit come all the way from Ukraine, and I got it on eBay and said wait for it. And like I say, less than 2 weeks it was at my doorstep. Inside the big old brown envelope came out of, and they had candy in there. Gave me some candy. It was the best candy I've ever tasted. Hardtack candy. It was very sweet of them to do that. It's very nice. I appreciate that. Thank you, good folks from Orel. The name of this kit is Orel. Is the company that makes this. And it's composed of about 4,000 pieces. And I got a lot done on this thing so far from the last video. So enough chatter. We're going to go and take a look at the USS Brooklyn and explain the next assembly stage we're going to be doing on this thing, and we'll take a look at this little girl here. Here she is over here, laying on the remnants of a roll of tape. There she's right there. We'll go in the bow a little bit. There's a beautiful looking ram bow these things had. These things were predecessors to the dreadnoughts of 1918. 1914, 1912, even the old battleships that we had, USS Texas, the New York, Pennsylvania, the Arizona, they all incorporated this style of feature on this ship. There's the screws right there, the rudder, and those skins on there, which makes the hull is very realistic, because I got pictures. I did some research, and the skins and the texture of the skins on this hull is pretty realistic as a real thing, because you look at a real ship, you can see it's really wavy and somehow. Now the hull is very straight and true. The way light hits it, it affects everything. The shadows of the frames where the skins go over. Now, these are all your casements right here. You got your 6-pounders go here. Your 5-inch 25s go here. You got 5-inch 25s go here. You got a sponson that goes across over here. This is where your 8-inch primary weapon this thing had. The army that she had was a 8-inch guns, and there's a sponson. It's like a fillet. It comes over here. Same thing goes right over in here too, where the 6-pounders go at. These all the casement closing of these things had. These things were loaded with guns, and believe it or not, they had 1.303 pounders inside these, right up in here too. We had guns in here, just like the HMS Victory. These square images right here represent pieces, which are these little parts right here. Right here. I gotta cut every one of those little squares out and glue them inside here. And once that's all done, then I can start working on the casements. And that's going to be fun. The guns will be very easy to build. This is a nice ship. I really enjoyed this thing. I've always liked the old Still Navy. Teddy Roosevelt, our Commander-in-Chief, gave squat into this having shipbuilders and designers and shipwrights that can go out there and design better dreadnought type vessels that can actually open the doors for bigger and better ones as decades go by. The shipyard participated in the Spanish-American War during the Battle of Manila Bay. Commodore Dewey's vast Great White Fleet, the Brooklyn, all these Great White Fleet went all the way to the Philippine Islands to duke it out with the Spaniards. And we took them down, every one of them. And we represented the nation as great powers. A nation to reckon with. Imagine being a sailor aboard something like this. It'd be awful tight inside. The interior of these things are just like that of the USS Olympia. If anybody's ventured aboard the USS Olympia in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia Naval Yard, she's out there, moored out there, against the mooring next to a sub. And you go inside those things, you'd be awed of the meticulous attention to detail, how they built those things. Everything was wood inside these ships. Wood and metal. I'm talking 100% metal. Case and hard steel. The engineering with steel with lug bolts that are 12 to 14 inches across. Bosses and fairings. Inside these ships, you can see halyard hooks where the guys strung up their hammocks, and the galley they had. This is one kind of ship design of our old Navy. Ships like this is just an example of other nations that had the same and similar vessels. Okay, over there in the background, this is a vessel that got us into the Spanish-American War. This is the USS Maine. ACR-3, 341 feet long. Ship's company, 341 officers and enlisted men too. You can see the boat boom over there, lowering the boats out there where the guys walked the boat boom, went down to a Jacob's ladder down there to the boats where we used to come out there and moor alongside the boat hooks, the boat booms. She was moored at Havana Harbor, 9:45 a.m. Boom. And 285 sailors were killed in this thing. A lot more were injured. Some survived. Tensions between America and Spain weren't too keen. The Spaniards did exactly the same thing what the Japanese did to the Chinese during the slaughter of Nanking. And when they were trying to come over and try to get the resources to build their economy. But they did it the wrong way by slaughtering women and men and children to get their stuff. The Spaniards did the same thing in the Philippines, also in Cuba. Spaniards at the time always tried to rule the world. They duked it out with the English, they lost. The English beat them. Now it's our turn to deal with them. So, Enrique Lalome was the ambassador of Spain. McKinley more or less singled up with them one-on-one. We don't like how you're handling your business over there in Cuba. It says knock it off. And Enrique Lalome kind of thumbed his nose at his face and said, "We'll see," and walked off. The United States of America to consider that was an insult. President McKinley considered it an insult. And it got stronger in the Philippines. And enough was, he didn't, everybody tried to press him and go to war with the Spaniards, but President McKinley didn't want to because he was an officer in the Civil War and he'd seen a lot of people, a lot of his men get slaughtered, and he sure didn't want to take men back into battle again after what he went through. So he was kind of a pacifist in a way, and to a certain extent, the tensions got worse. Well, when the battleship Maine blew up, that's what did it. Years later, after the sinking of the USS Maine, Hyman Rickover, the gentleman, the four-star admiral that designed the USS Nautilus back in 1954, this gentleman knew there was something more to it than the mine that sunk the USS Maine, because he knew the Spaniards and the Cuban rebels didn't have the gizmos or nothing to build a mine at all. And as the divers went down there, he sent divers down there to look at the left of the bow, which is sunk in the harbor, and found that metallurgists who studied metal knew there was different forms of a twisting of metal. It's more or less it lead to an internal explosion more than an external explosion. Everything was done internal. And so Hyman Rickover team demanded the plans. So Dana Wegner was the curator of the museum of these vessels. He obtained a set of plans, a scale of quarter-inch scale plans. And to his horror, he found out that magazine was adjacent next to a coal bunker that was smoldering next to a boiler system. So when this ship anchored, they always keep one boiler on standby. That boiler right there more or less kind of engineered and fed energy to the dynamos. Also kept steam up for hot water and electricity and everything else to keep the ship going. So one boiler was always left operational without use because they didn't have electric back in the days. They had to have something to generate electricity to do all these tasks. So when she blew up, that was it. They found out it was an engineer flaw. So that's what got us into the war. And this is one of Commodore Dewey's famous protected cruisers, USS Brooklyn. And we'll take this video back to Frankie Day here and finish up the video. Okay, fellas, been too busy lately. Christmas shopping and working and things. Far too busy. I haven't got a chance to finish up my fucker D7. I'm gonna get hot on that, so I got time for that. So I'll probably be having probably next week. I'll get this Christmas jazz out of the way. Probably before that, maybe next week I'll have the complete final reveal on that fucker right there. But right now I'm gonna start toying around with the USS Brooklyn for the all at sea group build. I'm gonna start putting the shutter bays on tonight, and tomorrow I'll probably start working on the casement guns. And the build will progress on and on. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this thing. It's going together quite well. And these car kits, they build very, very reasonably well. It's just got to take your time on and learn how to work with paper. And with the skyrocket cost of models nowadays, perhaps someday card modeling may make a comeback, you know, because to me it's the cheapest way out to make a larger scale models to get it for cheaper than buying plastic, you know. You can buy a 1-200 Bismarck of paper for about $30-40 bucks, opposed to paying something a $300, $400, $500 kit. Let's get up there, kid. Those kids get up there with money, boy. Eventually they're going to price themselves out of everything. So anyway, that'll be that. Okay, next video is today is Sunday. Tomorrow's going to be a Christmas Eve. And then I got to work tomorrow. And I'll probably be working the casement guns on that, so I'll probably have a video of this after Christmas. One day next week. I'll surprise you, it'll come up. Okay guys, that's about as far as I got on the USS Brooklyn. I got lots and loads of work to do on her. And I gotta do some burnishing, a little light sanding here and there, I see. Which you know, pronto. And she's coming along very nicely. Okay guys, I want to wish everybody out there have a very, very Merry Christmas. And be very safe for your Christmas holidays, guys. And be careful when you're drinking. Get yourself a designated driver. And don't go out there and drive and get loaded, you know, because it's not worth it, fellas. You know, the cops pick you up like that, Jesus. You can change your life in a very, very negative way. Not a very good prospect. And just enjoy yourself for Christmas, you know, because we live in very hard and crazy times nowadays, guys, and I'm scared half to death how this world's going right now, you know, like everybody's at each other's throats, and you just got too many people in this world, man. People just can't get along anymore like they used to. It's like having 10 people live in your house, you know. It's not going to work. What will work is I'm going to get this ship going, and we're going to have a video next week on the USS Brooklyn, the final reveal for the Fokker. Okay. Merry Christmas to you guys, and God love you, fellas. Probably get a hangout going on tomorrow night. I was going to have one tonight, but decided not to. I'm a little tired. So that's the conclusion of video 2 for the all-at-sea group build with my USS Brooklyn, 1898 Spanish-American War veteran. This is Frankie Day signing off for Frankie Day Models. Make mama happy. Take care of your children. Take care of yourself. Stay focused. Spend wisely. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your affairs. Build a model. Have a very jolly, holly, Merry Christmas. And a very happy, joyous New Year. And so 2019 will bring us a better year. One thing's good about it, we got new models coming in. So we do know that's shaking down. And I'll shake it out of here. Okay, Frankie Day signing off. We'll see you guys on the next video. Merry Christmas, guys. God love you, boys.